I think I'm live. Welcome to the lunchtime live stream. And to anybody listening in the car or just listening and not watching, welcome. I try to record this like a podcast format where if anybody is listening, they can easily listen without watching. So we're going to go today. I don't know, probably till I feel like not going. I don't have too much to do today. And today I want to talk about all of the Blackwell rumors coming out. Now this will affect gamers and miners and everybody in between. And there is some super interesting things going on. The biggest thing I want to talk about is in the last few days, along with this article from videocards.com that just released today, saying that the RTX 5090 and 5080 announcement are going to happen this year, and they're going to take place a few weeks apart. Essentially, the biggest thing that I want to share is there was an exchange of tweets which I saw, and they took place between May 6th and today, and I'm going to show you those right here. And for anybody who is listening, whoops, that's the wrong one. Oh, that is the right one. Hold on one second. For anybody who is listening, essentially what happened was Tech Power Up released a tweet on May 5th that said NVIDIA to only launch flagship 5090 in 2024, rest of series 2025. Copatite 7 Kimmy responded that day, and he is a notorious leaker, and he gets most of what he says correct. He said it's not true. The 5080 should be released first. Then AGF, who is also a pretty reliable leaker, he goes by the handle of at XPEA on May 9th, he said, to be exact, they should be announced at the same time with availability separated by a few weeks. And he later went on to say, too much false rumors these days, so let's make it straight. NVIDIA X100/R100 will tape out this summer. Still COWOS-L, still HBM3E, facts. So that is interesting. And he also said on a later one that the R100 specs are wrong and everybody repeats and it's really embarrassing. So that's interesting too. But let's get back to the 5080 and the 5090. So essentially what that means is it is looking like the 5080 will be released first with the 5090 in a few weeks. So if any of you remember Ampere when that came out, oh my God, 4 years ago. Where has the time went, guys? So Ampere came out 4 years ago. They actually announced the 3070, 3080, and 3090, and they said the 3080 would come first and the 3090 second. The 3090 ended up coming out a week and a half later. I remember that because I snagged one on launch day and I missed the 3080 launch. And the 3070 came out like a month and a half later, give or take. Now, I don't know if it's going to be the same, but it'll be interesting. And I'm going to quote from this article on videocards.com. It says, if recent rumors hold true, the GB203 is expected to be approximately half of what the GB202 provides. So, essentially, what I'm trying to get at is that GB, as far as I understand it, right? GB, I don't want to mix this up. As far as I understand it, I think GB203 is the 80 class and GB202 is the 90 class. But don't quote me on that one. I've been a little busy today and I didn't get to do as much research as I wanted. But this does buck the current rumors that are out there, which we thought that only the 5090 would release, and it would be a paper launch, basically. And Moore's Law is Dead talked about this. He basically said that the 5090 was forced to be released because it is basically has the same specs as their AI card. I don't remember the exact name of their AI card. So once they release their AI card, which they have to do to compete against the latest MI offering from AMD, that the 5090 specs will basically be released. So it makes no sense for them just to not release it at the same time, which is why they're releasing it first. But Red Gaming Tech actually did a video, and I will go over to it, and you can find the link right here. Let me get it for you, where he talks about only the 5080 at launch and the 4090 delayed. You should watch this video. I'm going to put a link in the chat for anybody who is following, and I will get to reading the chat comments in a second. I just want to get all this out there. So he basically says that he basically shares all the specs, and that he thought the release date would be a few weeks as well. Excuse me. But the big thing, I think, is that you're still going to see a 3090 paper or a 5090 paper launch, and there may be a little bit more supply of the 5080. Now, this is just me speculating, and I'm kind of annoyed that they're doing it this way, but it kind of makes sense. Whereas maybe if you weren't going to buy the 5090, but maybe you buy the 5080, they want people just to rush out and buy that one right away, especially if you're not sure if you're going to be able to get a 5090. Now, also it depends on how much stronger a 5090 is to a 5080 is to a 4090. If we're going to see like a 30 to 40% uplift, maybe it's worth getting it. I may buy both. I don't know. We'll see. But it will be interesting. And if you look down here, it shows the release dates for Ampere, Ada, and Blackwell. It shows Turing too, but I'm not going to go back that far. Basically, as I already said, it was about a week's difference in September in 2020 from the 80 to the 90 class, with the 80 class coming out first. However, Ada Lovelace did it a little differently. Obviously, as we remember, they did the 4090 first, followed by the 4080. And that was in October. So, I don't know. I would suspect we would see these in September or October. And it'll be interesting because if you are waiting for Blackwell, were you waiting for the 90 series? And does this change anything? Will you buy the 80 series over the 90 series? It'll be quite interesting. And I'm gonna go ahead and catch up to chat. Jockminer UK asked, does this mean the 4090 will be cheaper? I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it all depends on the memory that they're going to put on these things. If you look at the specs, let me see if I can find so Jockminer, I think it all depends on how much VRAM is going to be on the 5090. So if we Google 5090 specs, because I know there are a ton of leaks out there. Let me see if this one had it. So so I'm on TechRadar, which is a pretty reputable site. I just wanted to find this pretty fast to answer your question. I'm going to put a link down below. So I'm checking out the specs, right? So it says, and I just keep clicking this window. It says the potential bandwidth of the 5090 will be better. It'll be, the potential is 1500 gigabits versus 1000 on the 4090. We know that the L2 cache will be better. It's 128 to 72. I think I heard somewhere that due to the way GDDR7 memory modules work, it would be 28 gigabit or 28 gigs of VRAM instead of 24. I heard that they were going to do 30 or 48 on the AI version of the card to keep costs down. Now, if it's 28 versus 24, I don't know how much it's going to lower the cost, because like if the 5090 paper launches, right? And you're only able to basically get it on launch day and only a few people are able to get it. I don't think you're going to see the 4090 drop in price because AI users are still going to buy them up. Like if you look at the 4080s in the US right now, they're basically MSRP or more. The price hasn't really gone down. So I'm on Best Buy's website right now, and I'm going to see what a cost of a 4080 or a 4090 is right now. And a 4090, I mean, they're MSRP or more. You can buy them, right? But $1,700 for $1,800 for the gigabit. gigabyte model. 1800 for the MSI, 2K for the Strix, 1800 for the Asus model, and the Founders is sold out. Now, if we go to nvidia.com, where sometimes you can get them at MSRP, let's see if we can buy some. Shop. So, GeForce graphics cards. Let's see if we could buy a 4090 right here. There's none that we can directly buy, and they're all above MSRP. So that's very interesting, guys. So to answer your question, no, I don't think the 4090 price will go down until the 5090 is readily available. And if the current AI craze and everything is to go off of, I mean, I don't think you'll ever see a discounted 5090, and it all depends on what price they're at. Like if these things launch at 2K. I think maybe the 4090 price will actually go up a little bit because they'll be in more demand. I mean, we'll see. I mean, like I said, the 4090 is basically technically almost at its end of life. And when I mean end of life, I mean like where it's not going to be the most powerful GPU out there. And they're still above MSRP. And this is really the only model that is. Like even the 4080 is cheaper than MSRP. The 4080 Super you can get for MSRP. So I think it A, depends on the VRAM, and B, it just depends on the 5090 availability. All right, keep catching up on chat. Rud Pats, what's going on? He basically said, what's up? Zapirate says, I can't wait to see how much NVIDIA nerfs the memory bus on the 50 series. Zapirate, from what I've read, the memory bus on the 5080 and the 5090 will be pretty amazing. Like, they'll be probably the best memory buses NVIDIA has ever released. Catching up on chat. Nerdbee says, hello, everybody. Listening while going through a car wash. Well, don't leave your window open. My mother-in-law left her window open in the car wash one time, and it was not good times. Jock Miner says, are there any serious gamers out there that spend that much on a GPU? Krootman, the person hosting this chat, humiliatingly raises his hand. He will own a 5090 on launch day. Excuse my throat clearing. He will own a 5090 on launch day, and he might even own a 5080 if it comes out earlier. I'm a dumb computer gamer that has to have the best GPU in my rig at all times. Now, it doesn't hurt that, I usually mine on my GPUs too, so they usually pay for themselves, and this 4090 will go directly into the mines once it leaves my gaming computer. Maybe. It might go somewhere else. I don't know, but I'm keeping it. This 4090 in my computer is a launch day one. I actually sold all my other 4090s. J Rose says, having worked there, NVIDIA does things that are like clockwork. The 5090 will be first, and the GB102 chip will be available at Christmas. The 5080 will not be a paper launch. It never is. J Rose, that's interesting. I mean, I'm not about to bet against Kopitite 7, but these are all rumors, so we all have to take it with a grain of salt. So we'll see. Look, the funny thing is they have precedents on doing both of these, whether they release the 80 series first or the 90 series. Now, I was not around during Turing, but looking at this article again from videocards.com, there was no 90 class for Turing, but they released the 70 class in October, and they released the 80 class in September of 2018. So that is interesting. Everybody, please smash those like buttons. Thank you guys for tuning in. I apologize if I didn't give you any notice. I forgot to put the advertisement up last night when I usually do. I fell asleep at 8 o'clock last night, so I'm very tired. I was very tired. Zapirate says they are more than likely to stop production of the 4090, so no price drops. Zapirate, I agree with that, but it will be interesting to note that these use different process nodes. So what if they were able to keep the 4090 because they could still get $1,600 for it, especially if they are releasing the 5090 at a higher price. So tinfoil hat here, maybe they don't cease production of the 4090 and just tailor it all to AI users. So that would be interesting to see. Catching up on chat. Hi, Jean says, hi, Jean-Francois says, hi, everybody. Edwin Sparks says, like the runs up. Yes, run the likes up. I have dyslexia today. Yes, please run the likes up. I appreciate it. Thank you to anybody tuning in over on their cars or wherever they are listening from, as well as their PCs. So Pirate says, PC Master Race. I agree with PC Master Race. I hope you guys are not like me and has to own the latest GPU. But it's funny because I literally game on all sorts of GPUs when I'm doing content or videos, or sometimes I like to mess around. I am currently trying to get a server 3080 to game properly, as in I'm trying to cool it properly. So I hopefully have a video on that maybe this weekend or next week. So that one should be fun. So that's currently what I'm doing. I haven't gamed on my 4090 in like a week, actually. Let's see. Catching up on the chat. J Rose says people want their gaming computers for Christmas. I agree. It will be interesting to see if Nvidia has enough stock of the 50 series or they just tank the 40 series, as in the 4070, the 4070 Ti, the 4070 Super. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the prices of those, and also how the election results affect, say, things like inflation and if there's interest rate cuts or not. Because if there also is a crypto mining boom around that time, will people buy up every 40 series they can? And will that lead to maybe not a 40 series price cut? And will there be like a run on GPUs around, the holidays, like October, November, etc.? So I think it depends on how the election goes. We don't talk politics in here, by the way, so please don't. It depends on how the election goes. I think it depends if we get any inflation, any rate cuts. I know we have a few more potential rate cuts because it's only May 10th at the time of this recording. We'll have a few potential rate cuts between now and then. So that will be interesting too. And it also depends on what the crypto mining market does. Now, this week has been a lot better than the past few, but we will see how it holds up. Chris Henley says, happy Friday. And he says, what's up, D-Gens? We're doing good. We're going to have a good Friday stream. This is going to be a good one. And I hope you guys get a good listen out of this. Chris Henley says, finished another gaming PC build. He's got a 450M. A 450M, I think that's the motherboard. A 450 mobile, a 3600, a 5600 XT, 16 gigabytes and 4 terabytes storage. That is awesome. What are you listing that thing for? I would think that motherboard, that the 450M is a motherboard. I would think that PC could sell for about $500-600 US. Pure Crypto Mining Bros says, let's go, guys. Yes, I'm going to upgrade a 5090 from my 3080. That would be a perfect upgrade. That would be a wonderful. Although the 3080 is still going pretty strong. I'm going to be making another video next week where I think the 3080 might be the choice GPU for gamers and where they should target them. Keep checking up. Nvidia only makes Founders Edition. AIBs make the rest of them. Nvidia will start to reduce chip production in the fall. J Rose, I would have thought they would have started to reduce it now. I'm going to reach out to one or two people who give me the time of day, who are kind of connected in the industry, and I'm going to see if they've heard anything regarding reduction of the chip production. I still think that the fact that they're on a different node, and depending on how the market goes, I wonder if Nvidia would almost keep the 40 series out until they hit the low-end 50 series. And I wonder if they'll just reduce the prices in an effort to mess with AMD, especially with RDNA 4 coming out soon. So that would be interesting speculation if they decide that they want to keep the 40 series, especially the lower-end models, in production longer. That might be something. I'm actually going to make a note of that, and I'm going to reach out to somebody and ask them about that. Would they maybe consider keep producing 40 series and treat them like RDNA 4 kind of thing? Because as Red Gaming Tech mentioned in his last video, he thinks that RDNA 5 is going to be a massive disruptor, as in he thinks it's going to blow the pants off of Blackwell. So maybe Nvidia uses Ada to mess with RDNA 4 and to try to keep the lower end segment in their hands in case the 88, I guess we'll call it the 9900 XTX, is better than the 5090. So that would definitely be something interesting to keep up on. Let's see, keeping up. J Rose says rumors are the same every launch. Look at last launch. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, J Rose. I think rumors are fun to talk about, which is why I love talking about them. I'm going to do some more videos on it as we get closer. But you never know. Look, nothing's official till it gets launched. Look at Nvidia can change things whenever they want. Catching up on chat, Zapirate says, I have to own the latest CPU. Fortunately, I'm done buying the i7 and i9 for gaming. The i5 4600 is good enough and does not overheat and crash. Yeah, I was debating doing some content on Intel, but I haven't bought an Intel CPU since the 10th generation, and I own an 11th gen, but I can't find it anywhere. So I really don't know much enough to talk about it, and I kind of feel like I don't want to do content on things that I don't know enough about or have the ability to research on them. But look, I kind of regret buying the 7800X, the 7800X CPU for gaming, the X3D anyway. So maybe I'll go Intel next gen. I don't know. We'll see. It is already set up for AMD, so maybe I will just go the 8900X, the one that can do productivity well. Kyle Rosa says, good, both Nvidia and AMD are corrupt. Yeah, I mean, look, they're just companies. They don't really care about gamers in the sense that they want you to spend money on them, but they don't necessarily care if you're happy. As long as you're spending money to them, that means you're happy. I think we need Battle Mage to really, really do something. Intel missed a golden opportunity last cycle, and the mid 2021 Intel really could have been a disruptor. Hopefully they learn their lesson and they become a disruptor again. NerdBeast says, I love getting new GPUs. Bad for the wallet, but good for the soul. I hear that. I'm in the process of actually selling some 3060 Ti's, or trying to sell them, and I'm looking to buy 170HXs. I'll talk more about that later in the stream, so keep listening if you want to hear that. Jock Miner UK says, keep printing those dollars. Yep, Nvidia and AMD are. I would look for their stock to probably go through the roof. But that is not financial advice, so don't take that from me. Zapirate says, in response to Chris Hanley's computer build, as long as it gets the job done, it's all good. He thinks he's going to sell it for $600. He loves running his builds by me. Thanks for the support. I love hearing about new builds, guys. I love it. Always talk about new builds you're building. I love talking about new builds. I just built a server PC that I spent all morning in my office at my real job getting up and running. I'm going to have a video on that maybe this weekend. I don't know yet. Let's see. Catching up on chat. Zapirate says, that's what they say about the AMD cards. Then they launch the drive, and the drivers are a complete mess. I don't know, guys. I think AMD's done a pretty good job on drivers this time around. Actually, as well, the last driver that just released took my 6900 XT and made it nuts. I actually re-overclocked it, and I got it up like a 20% performance boost, which will be another video. I have just been very busy with life. Being a full-time dad, working another full-time job, and doing this is not the easiest thing in the world. I'm trying, though. I'm going to do a video on the 6900 XT overclocking thanks to that new driver. It is pretty sweet. So I'm not ready to torch AMD for their drivers right now, if we're being honest. Chris Hanley says the 4090 dropped to sub 600 after the 50 series release. Ha! I would think that the 4090 could even go up in price. If the 5090 drops at like 2,000, I bet you see a 4090 at about 1,600 or 1,700, which would technically be an increase in its price. So no, I don't think the 4090 will drop at all. I think the 4090 will stay solid, and depending on the people's reactions to Blackwell, maybe even sells out at 1,700. Don't quote me on any of this. This is just predictions, but I don't know, guys. I'm going to have to drink some Red Bull because of that. J Rose says, gaming developers want the best cards to develop on. They want the most supported cards for gaming out there, and that's NVIDIA. Yeah, I don't really have a leg to stand on to that comment. I would love if AMD got a bigger market share. I think AMD GPUs are fantastic. I use them not as much as NVIDIA, but I do use them. I would never tell anybody to not buy an NVIDIA or an AMD GPU. I think if you asked me, I think, for example, right, if you guys asked me right now, like if you guys played along, if you guys asked me for the best ray tracing GPU right now, if you asked me the best value GPU right now, like if you guys were to ask me random questions right now about the best of a GPU or like the best of a GPU in a price range, I promise you the answers would not all be NVIDIA. I have very strong opinions about AMD, some good, some bad, but I do not. I wish everybody would be more pro NVIDIA, and I wish that gamers would start buying AMD more. I meant to say AMD over NVIDIA. Now, there's certainly plenty of reasons to buy NVIDIA over AMD, but it is not as black and white as a lot of people make it sound, and I wish people would not be like that. And please slam that like button. Thank you guys for listening. We're going to go as long as I feel like it today. I'm really enjoying the interaction in the chat. The chat is doing great, and it seems like everybody's really engaged right now. Let's see. Kyle Rosa says freedom is the goal. Listen, we're never going to be free from these guys unless we get 2 or 3 more big developers. Even Intel coming, though. Like if Intel was a threat, that would be big. If a three-way horse would be fantastic. I would love one day to have a video of the best GPUs to buy, and it was some NVIDIA, some AMD, some Intel. That would be wonderful. J Rose says AMD keeps shifting all their GPU driver staff to the CPU division. I can't comment on that, but like I said, I think the latest GPU drivers for AMD have been some of the best I've seen in a while, especially to the 6000 series. They were wonderful. Diabolic Dave just joined the channel. He says, hopefully MSRPs are decent. Yeah, I doubt it. I think that you will never see a $800 or a $700 or $800 30 or 80 series MSRP again. If I was guessing on the MSRP for the 4080, and I'm going to put a poll up in a second, I would think it'll be $1,000 for the MSRP for the 4080, and I think you would see, and this is if we're lucky, I think you'll see a $1,700 5090 MSRP, and this is if we are lucky. So I'm going to do a poll while we're talking, and I'm going to ask, what do you think the 4080 or the 5080 MSRP will be? What do you think? I'm typing, give me a sec. The 5080 MSRP will be. So I'm going to put a few options. I'm going to put 4 options. The first option is 800, or 700, which was the 3080 MSRP. Now be honest, okay? Be honest. Don't BS. Like, don't just think this isn't what you hope. This is what you realistically think it will be. $1,000. Right? And then we're going to go $1,200. And then we're going to put, I have no effing clue. So the options are, for anybody listening, and yell it in your car, yell at me through the speaker on what you think. What do you think the 5080 MSRP will be? $700, which is the 3080 MSRP. $1,000, $1,200, or I have no effing clue. I either have no effing clue or I think it'll be $1,000. So let's see what you guys think. Dave also says they'll set them above 4000 series so the 4000 prices can stay the same longer. Dave, I don't think so. I think that the 4000 series, anything under the 4080 Super or the 4070 Ti Super, I think you'll see a price reduction in all of those. I don't know how much, but I think you will, because I really think they're going to try to use those to compete with RDNA 4. But we'll see. We got 22 people in here. Thank you guys for joining in. We're talking about Blackwell, how it relates to gaming, to mining. I talked in the beginning of the stream about the Blackwell series delay, and I basically said that it looks like, according to Copatite 7 Kimmy, the 5080 will drop first, with the 5090 dropping second. Let's see. Nerd B says, I feel like your streams have been getting better. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you. I really appreciate the compliment. Streaming is definitely harder than I thought, and it's about how you interact with your audience, how you interact with people that are listening after the stream, and it's something that I feel like I'm always constantly striving to improve, and I'm always open to constructive criticism. My email, you can access it from Twitter, and you can access it from here as well, so please feel free. Oh my goodness. Please feel free to shoot me an email. I am always up to talk or to have criticism or anything else. Zig Miner says, half my farm is AMD. That's awesome. And it's funny, but I'm sneaking some BC250 talk in here. I think you'll see me talk a lot more about AMD GPUs in the future, depending on how they're priced as far as mining goes in the low end. Diabolic Dave says, for pricing, minimum 1200, most likely 14 to 15 for the 5080. I do not agree with that, Dave. I do not think NVIDIA has the cojones to get that much bad press for a 5080. Look, I understand that the people in this chat and the people that we're interacting with all will spend a ton of money on GPUs because we are psychopaths. But a lot of people won't. And you have to kind of think about the publicity NVIDIA wants. They don't necessarily want bad publicity. You will get major news outlets like PC Gamer or IGN talking about the price, and that will turn off a lot of people. I think people were pleasantly surprised, and I would argue that a lot of people, myself included, got back into PC gaming when we found out that Ampere was going to be as cheap as it was. Now, obviously, nobody saw the crypto mining boom and the scalping and all the bloodshed that came after that. But I think a lot of people kind of looked at the revolutionary performance jump with the 3080 at the 3080 price, and it got them back into gaming. So I would say that, you know, maybe $1,000 or maybe $900 is even possible. Maybe $900 is that jump that gets you back in. It just depends on what NVIDIA wants, but I don't think they want needlessly poor publicity. I can't speak to that. I apologize, guys. Needlessly poor publicity. I sound like Biz for anybody who likes hockey, but he does pretty good, so maybe that bodes well for me. I don't think they want that, and I think that they know that people will pay for the 90 series. If the 3090 and the 4090 have said anything, it's that the 90 series cards have held value incredibly well. I mean, look at the 3090, $600-700 right now, and it's almost 4 years old. It's lost half its value in 4 years at MSRP anyway, which is incredibly amazing when you consider the value of other parts. Although a 3080 theoretically is going for $400 right now, and it launched at $700, so you could argue it's held its value incredibly well too. So, you know, I don't know. I think 1,000 probably gets you that decent publicity. 900 gets you a lot of good. So I guess we'll see. Chris Hanley says 1450. You're insane. Red Panda Mining says, I'm buying 15090s. I don't even care. Panda, I don't even think you're going to be able to get 15090s. You live in Canada. I bet you don't. I bet you, Panda, you don't get a 5090 unless I send you one, which I can do if I can get more than one for MSRP. If I send you one from the States, I'm telling you, if these things paper launch, you Canadians aren't getting any. The people who live by micro centers and can get them fast or have connections are probably going to be the only people that are getting these things. And I hope I'm one of all three of those. And what's going on, Red Panda? Welcome to the stream. UK says, Jockminer UK says the MSRP of the Founders Edition was $14.99 and the 4090 was $15.99 and the 5090 will be $16.99. I actually kind of think I agree with you on that. I think they feel like they'll be able to get away with $16.99. If they do, listen, I will praise them, and that sounds so effed up, and my nose will be brown. But if they do $16.99, I will be happy about it. And frankly, I'll probably snag 2 at launch. It honestly just depends on how much I spend on 170HXs coming up. I'm probably going to put an order in for 3 or 4 next Monday. Just looking around says, hey, Krootman, if you are who I think you are, just looking around, I got to DM you. We got to schedule a time to get together. This week's been crazy. Red Panda Mining says, Krootman, did you see what I was able to get in the bull run? So, Red Panda, I did see what you were able to get in the bull run, and that was before I knew you, and it was kind of funny because I didn't think you got that many during the bull run. I'm going to toot my own horn, and if I turn anybody off by saying this, I apologize. I had 5 times the amount of 30 series you had, Panda. Like, I was getting them left and right, weekly, easily. So I think that compared to what you guys can get, compared to what we can get, now I'm only saying that because you're in Canada, I'm in the US, but I don't think you'll get nearly as many as we get. Red Panda says, I will do it, and I will have them all over the floor, not on. Yes, Red Panda, I cannot wait. I remember laughing and saying, how does this man have so many GPUs not on? And now look at me. I have 3060 Ti's all over the place in my room, not on right now. And I need to get some more server cases. I'm working with somebody. I don't want to say who yet. And I think they have a ton of octo miners coming in that they're selling. I think they mass bought them from somebody. I wonder if it was Miner Dude when he went out. So we'll see. And I hope I can share with you guys cheaper octo miners. I'm really excited about that. Golden Wolf says, Nefarious will camp Micro Center for Panda. I'm going to reach out. I'm actually going to reach out to Micro Center soon, and maybe they'll collaborate with me. We'll see. J Rose says, buy them by the case. Know the salespeople. Yeah, J Rose, I hopefully will have more connections. I don't know if I can do that, but I hope. Krootman, all of my connections were in the USA. I believe you, Panda. I absolutely believe you. And I believe that you will have no problem getting them this time around either. And maybe you'll get more, and maybe I will get less, as I'm not going to be spending a ton of money this time. So we'll see. And Panda, I'll try to help you get them if I can as well. Let's see. Chris Hanley says, live 10 minutes from Micro Center's father store. They said they have preferential treatment. Probably. I'm like within 3 hours of 3 Micro Centers, so I'm pretty excited for them. I feel like I have to camp them. I'm not reading Red Paul's comment. For everybody in the car, I don't want to make your ears bleed, so we're not doing that. Nerdbeast says, I would like one more Octominer X12. Yes, I have this contact, and I think they will be very good, and they've said they got a lot of them. They said they're going to send me an Octominer or 2 to review and to share with you guys. So I'm hopefully going to grab some from them, and I may buy some more depending on how much they cost. I'm hoping that if we could find Octominers for like 400 to 500-ish, maybe like 4 to 500, I think that would be a big boom. I think it's time to end the use of open air cases, but it just depends on what the Octominers cost. It really does. Chris Hanley says, take crypto, will ship. I don't, I'm not going to elaborate any more on that. I'm going to wait till they reach out. We've already been talking about it. It is a channel sponsor though. And I'm hoping to build up more channel sponsors in the future. So if you guys know anybody who would like to sponsor me or anyone I can reach out to, I would love to hear it. Adam Williams says the 3080 requires 1000 watt power supply to deal with the power spikes. I wouldn't go that far. I've been running a 3080 with power. I ran 3080s on like 600 watt PSUs and had no issues. I had a 3080 that was slightly undervolted, so that may be cheating on a 600 watt power supply with no problem. Now, if you're a new gamer and you're wanting to get set up, I'd probably recommend the 750 watt recommended. Krootman, Red Panda Mining says that Krootman, JK, I probably won't be buying a lot of GPUs anymore. I am going all in on CPU mining soon. Red Panda, you ain't kidding. I'm actually going to be doing a lot more CPU mining, I think. And I do not think I'll be buying a lot of GPUs this run. I am hoping to get a bunch of 170HXs and then probably sit pat if we're being honest with you. Maybe some more 40 series. But I don't have a lot of spare cash like I did during COVID. I mean, I feel like a lot of people can say that. And I don't think... And I'm almost out of power. I mean, I basically am out of power. I'm going to be meeting with my hosting client, and I'm going to have to spill the bad news that I need to turn them off soon. So we'll see how that goes. J Rose says he needs a new Octo that supports the width and power supply to get higher density. I don't totally understand what you mean, J Rose. I don't know if you need them to develop a new one. I think Octo Miner's out of business, so I don't think we'll be getting new ones. But I think X12's. I think Octominer has the best server cases out there. I was going to reach out to Mystic Miner again, but they kind of didn't bother responding to me. So I don't know if they would respond even if after my server case reviews. I don't know. But that is something I am going to be doing too. I'm plotting out a video schedule this week or next week. And because I need to start coordinating better. I feel like this week was all just shed videos, which is fine because I was in my shed a lot this week. But I want to do server case reviews. I don't think we have a lot of those out there, and I think a lot of people are starting to get into server cases. Let's see. Reading Rudd Paul. He says, getting lessons from Rabbit on CPU mining god. Rabbit mining is very good at CPU mining. Like I said, I'm gonna try to be doing more on it. And I'm going to be testing some more coolers. Deepcool got me a affiliate code, a 10% off code for their cheap cooler, their $20 cooler. So I just bought one, and I'm going to be doing some testing on it. Guys, I think this one might be better than the Hyper 212. I really do. And I'll be doing some pretty in-depth testing on it. So, and with my code, it might be worth buying. Look, I know you guys liked my digital coolers, these ones. I know you guys really, really liked the AK400 digital, but I get that not everybody wants to pay $40 for a cooler when they could pay $20 for a cooler. So I get it. So I reached, like I said, Deepcool provided me with a coupon code for the the AG400. Now, I still like the digitals better, and I'm going to be honest with you, I might still buy the AK400 digital over the AG400, but we will see. Let's see, catching up on chat. Chris Hanley just says depends on 3080. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the 3080 spikes go that high. Just looking around says epics are finally starting to go down in price. That is nice. Just looking around, I might pick up those too. I also have my Micro Center credit card, so I may buy 7900Xs. I don't know. It really just depends. I think while GPU pricing is so terrible, and I found a connection in China, I think I'm going to be buying 170HXs for the time being, but we'll see. It all comes down to trying to figure out what you need to do. J Rose says Chili is working on something. Maybe I have to reach out to him and see. I'll reach out to him. Maybe he'll work with me. We'll see. Jock Miner says, I got 4 CPU rigs so far. No GPUs on them at the moment, but I have 6X6600, so I need to get them onto a motherboard. 6600s are a fantastic mining GPU. Right now, my CPUs are on Zephyr or Cubic. I have my BC250s on Cubic, and based on the price of Cubic last week, I basically just need to find one soul every day on all of my, or 1 to 2 souls a day on my 66 or on my BC250s, and they pay for themselves, and all the iron they're mining are profit. So that's pretty exciting. I'm getting about $8 a day currently in iron on my BC250s, and they've already found one soul in the last 24 hours. So mining with those is looking pretty nice right now. Let's see. Adam Williams says, I've had 5 3080s in 5 different systems for gaming, and they would all shut down during heavy loads until I upped the power supply to 1,000 watts. I build systems for resale as a hobby. Okay, I mean, look, that's fair, and that's your experience, and you've gamed on more 3080s in builds than I have, as I only have put like 2 or 3 in, and I've usually sold most of mine for mining. So that's fair, and 1,000 watt power supplies are cheap. And again, I'm not discounting what you're saying. You definitely have experience in this. I still think, now we all talk based on our experiences, right? So me personally, based on my experience, I still think you could get by with a 700 watt power supply. I would maybe recommend undervolting it, but a 750, I don't think I'd bother undervolting it. But again, it's just my opinion. And that's what's fun about this stuff. It's all opinions based on experiences that have happened to us. So it's almost like a mix of fact and opinion. Or it's more like it's opinions based on experiences, which make them facts for you, but they may not be facts for other people. That's an interesting way to look at it. Chris Hanley says they do look sweet. CPU listen, this GPU, this cooler, the AK400 digital is amazing. I think it looks sweet, and I think it has better resale value on rigs. If I was building PCs to resell them, I'd probably only put AK digital 400s on them because they look real sweet. And look, I am tainted as Deepcool is my sponsor, and they've sent me like 7 of my 8 AK400 digitals. So I've only actually ever bought one, but they are incredible. And I'm telling you that I have not asked them for anything in a little bit, and I am probably going to buy one more of these. I'm probably going to end up buying these for CPU mining rigs instead of the cheaper AG model because I like them and I think the resale value is better on these. Catching up. People forget to realize that a good air cooler can be kept for many generations as long as there are mounting kits for sale. And that is also very true. Look, I am anti-water cooling. I'm not telling you not to do it, but I would never build a water cool build for anybody. I would never recommend an AIO for anybody. Air coolers don't fail, and as long as there are mounting kits to support them, they can be used forever. My Noctua that is in my main rig, which I do want to replace when Deepcool if they ever build an Assassin 4 digital model. That thing's been good for like 4 generations now, 3 or 4 generations. So it's an incredible cooler. Let's see. Jock Miner says F Hive cost. Yeah, look, I have a love-hate relationship with Hive OS. Love-hate relationship, and that, I'm going to leave it at that. Adam Williams says, now these new power supplies, the ATX 3.0, are designed to handle these power spikes, so an 850 would probably be okay. Look, I would never recommend an old power supply. I think, beggars can't be choosers, so depending on what you're getting and what the price is, like, maybe it's worth it. And I know Tech Yes City has debunked a lot of rumors on older PSUs. If you're a systems builder, I would recommend having a power supply tester. I actually am about to buy one because I was thinking about doing some system builds where I just build some lower end systems and then I just sell them, or at least I take them apart and sell them because I don't really like meeting up with people. So I kind of tend to just sell the parts online, but I need a power supply tester. So, Tommy Coin says, I'm not buying any more GPUs. I am praying for a chip shortage to sell some of my older cards. Tommy Coin, I thought we were going to have a chip shortage. Whether we have one or not, I don't know. I think the bull market is next year. Does that affect the chip shortage? Maybe. But how much more you're going to be able to get for your older GPUs, it honestly depends on how the market goes. Really. Like, people who think they're going to get $600 for their 3070s, I think are living in fantasy land. I think the best we'll ever get for them is $450 to $500, and that is in the midst of whatever the top shortage is. I don't think we'll ever get more for that. Now, if I can sell my 3070s for $500 during the midst of the next bull run, you better believe I'm going to be dumping all of them. Every single one of them. Nerdbeast says, I use Thermaltake Peerless Assassins. Yes, Nerdbeast, what I'm trying to tell you is I think the AG400 will dethrone the Peerless Assassin. I got with Deepcool sales team and I'm like, look guys, you got to dethrone that thing. Miners only care about price. So I really do think that the AG400 will dethrone the Assassin. And let me show you what I mean on that. I'm on Deepcool's page for anybody listening online. I am going to go to air coolers because Krootman doesn't really like the other ones. So if you look at the AG400, where is it? It is an older model, but they still sell it and you can still buy them on Amazon. This thing, the AG400 is only $20, $21 on Amazon. And they let you have to use my link though. It's weird. the way it works, because I got with Deep Cool on it. They're gonna give 10% off, so that's 21 times 10% off. That's $18. Are you telling me that you will find a better cooler for a better price? I'm telling you, the AG 400 at $18 is going to be unbeatable. Like, it is going to be unbeatable. All right. I don't care what anybody who likes the Thermaltake Peerless Assassin says. Now, I want to state that I am biased. Deep Cool was my very first sponsor. They were the first to back me. So I will probably always support Deep Cool. Now, if they have a major mess up like an EK kind of thing, I will definitely call them out. But I'm telling you guys, the AG400 will beat the Peerless Assassin. I'm telling you, I feel it, and I feel very confident about it. And I will be doing a test on that next week. Chris Hanley says, he's replying to Adam Williams, if anything above a 3060 Ti, I would do an 850 to 100 watt power, 1000 watt power supply. Look, I don't necessarily agree with that, guys. I think at the lower end, you got to keep prices cheap, and I think power supplies are oddly expensive, new. So unless you're getting them used for a good cost, I would probably stick with like 600 to 700 watts. They do a lot better than most people think. Adam Williams says 5900X, 5950X, 12700K. They do use more power, and he says, so yeah, they do contribute to a total system power for a 3080 build. Yeah, that's not wrong, but like if you go with the lower end, like a 5600X or a even a 60 or even a 77 or a 7600X, they don't use a lot of power, guys. So I kind of stand by that. You don't necessarily need an 850 to 1000 watt power supply. Let's see. And it helps and Chris Hanley says 100% on resale. Yeah, I don't know. Like for resale, you don't want bad parts, but I think if there was a part that you could get away with, as long as you tested it and you did the right testing, a lower end power supply would not be bad. Or if he's talking about the AK400 digital, I'm telling you, for air coolers, dude, RGB and digital help resale. I don't know why, but people love their RGB and they love their, so if you have a digital cooler on it, I'm telling you, you will be able to, like if it costs you $25 more than the non-digital version, you will be able to charge $25 more for that power, for that PC, and it will sell faster. And Chris Hanley, if you're in the US, use my code Krootman for 10% off, which means you only have to pay $45, which makes it an even better deal. Economy's down. I've just been breaking even lately, having fun building computers. Actually, I've got a buddy who's been doing really well on his builds, but he meets people, and I just don't like to meet a lot of people in person. I'm not like antisocial. Like if you see me at CES or Computex or whatever, I will hang out with you and talk to you. I got no problem with that. But what I'm trying to, or even at Micro Center, but what I'm saying is like if I'm going to meet someone in like a police station or something, I'm never going to somebody's house. But like I don't really even like doing a ton of police station meetups. It's just, I don't know. Just Looking Around says for CPU rigs only, Pico ATX adapters connected to a breakout board. That is viable too, and I may be doing that more as I run out of space. I've been using 3D Print Masters slanted frames that have the PSUs in the back, and I have had plenty of room. I'm not really saving a lot of room using the breakout boards, and I still have a lot of PSUs from my time with my open air frames. So when I run out of PSUs and I can't find them cheap, maybe that will be something that I consider. Nerd B says lots of other variables other than price, though, but a good test would be nice. Nerd Beast, you are right, but the thing is, for CPU miners, if they're within like a few degrees of temperature, people are literally just going to go for the best value crap. And when I say best value, I mean cheapest. We all do it, all right? I'm guilty of it. Before I got into Deep Cool, I'll show you. I've got a whole box of CPU coolers right here that I'm actually working on selling. There's a mix of Thermaltakes, AMDs, those $15 ones that Jay's 2 cents did a video on. And I gotta sell all these. So if anybody wants to bulk buy CPU coolers off me, I'll give you a good price on those. DM me. They're all for AMD and they all have everything you need. So if anybody ever wants to buy any of those, I'll sell them to you. Shoot me a DM. I don't really need them anymore, as I'm going to only use Deep Cool from now on. Let's see. Chris Hanley was talking about the cooler. Yeah, I thought that was what you said, Chris. I kind of got it to it. Normative, welcome, man. He says 5080 costing max 1K, probably under. I hope you're right. I talking to you guys, hanging out, I would be thinking, right, that if the 59 or the 5080 cost like like 900, just remember all the goodwill the 3080 had when it dropped. Like, if you look at all the news articles about it, I mean, people were talking about how well the 3080 was. I'm trying to find some. Like, people were trying to talk about how awesome the 3080 prices were. And a lot of people were happy with them at that price. They were like saying it's a new age of GPUs after the horrible pricing of Turing. And I wasn't here for that, but I know a lot of you guys remember how bad the Turing prices were. Let's see. 5080 will have to cost more than $1,000 to slot into its current offerings. Adam Williams, I don't know, man. I mean, look, anything from 1200 to 900 would not surprise me. I would be disappointed at 1200. I would be thrilled at 900. 1,000 would be a good move, and 1,100 would be like, meh, whatever. But I think 1,200 would not be a good call. I think people would get really mad about that, because then, like, you got to understand, people associate 80 class naming with like the 3080, and it's kind of hard to change perception in that regard. So like they're going to have to redo all the namings then, because, like, in my opinion, and I'm going to put another question here. Thank you for this discussion topic. Real quick, I'm going to end the poll for the MSRP for the 3080 or the 5080, sorry, and this is going to lead me into another question. So to answer, I just want to go over the results of the poll real quick. It says, what do you think the 5080 MSRP will be? 51% said 1,200, 31% said 1,000, 15% said I had no effing clue, and nobody said 700, and this is 25 votes. I'm going to add another poll up here. What do you guys consider the Halo SKU GPU pricing? And Halo SKU is like, I have the best of the best GPU out at that point in time. So like, this is what I'm going to ask. So what do you consider initial pricing for a Halo the cheapest cost for a Halo GPU? The price floor, we're going to ask it that way. What is the price? This is an opinion, by the way. Floor for a Halo SKU GPU, and I'm gonna put $1,000, or I'm gonna put three options. I'm gonna put 800. I'm gonna put 1,000, and I'm gonna put 1,500. So, in my opinion, right, to give you guys my opinion, I think it's 1,000 is the start of a Halo SKU GPU. So I want to see what everybody else says. And I think it depends if you think the 5080 is a Halo SKU GPU or not. Now, obviously, we know from past experiences, the 4080 was a Halo SKU GPU, in my opinion. But what do you guys think? So, like, it really just depends. Zapirate said, do not buy cheap China GPUs. Yes, I can agree with that. Do not buy cheap China GPUs. I would look at Linus's power supply chart, and anything from Great Wall is good GPU, or is a good CPU or PSU. We're talking power supplies. I would not buy China power supplies, and I would try to stick to Great Wall power supplies if at all possible. I think they're the best, in my opinion. So we are at 1 o'clock. We've been going for an hour. I think I'm having a good time with this stream. I would not go past 145. I think every 15 minutes I'm going to kind of just see where the mood is, where the chat is, where everybody's going, and we will go from there. We haven't really talked. Oh, wait, is Panda starting his stream soon? Let me look. Hold on. If Panda's starting his stream, I will end mine. So give me a second. I'm going to see who's live. Give me 1 second, guys. I have no problem ending. Yep. All right. So Red Panda just started his stream. So do you guys want me to keep going, or do you want to go to Red Panda stream? If you guys want to go to Red Panda stream, I have no problems with that. And I will try to get it where we all go into his stream. So if you guys want me to end this so we can go to Pandas, let me know. Again, I have no problems ending it early. It looks like, I don't know, maybe I should. I don't really... Jock Miner says, F Panda, you carry on. Let's see. Maskless Ninja says... I don't know what Maskless Ninja's saying. I'm just going to ignore him. All right, you know what? I'll go on for another... Look, I'll go on for another 10 minutes. We're having a good time. I'll kind of finish what my thought was, and then I'm probably going to stop the stream because Panda is starting, and I don't really want to step on his toes. And I wasn't going to stream for that much longer anyway. So I'll go 10 more minutes for anybody listening, and then we'll transition into Panda stream, or maybe 5. I don't know. I am kind of running out of steam now that I saw Panda stream going on. Maskless Ninja. Sorry, Maskless Ninja. I don't totally understand what you're saying. I really appreciate everybody watching. I'm sorry that I kind of ran out of steam all of a sudden, but I guess that's just how it goes. So this, just to recap quickly, we did talk a lot about the 5090 and the 5080. We didn't really talk much about mining. We talked a lot about GPU releases. I really appreciate everybody jumping in. I guess what Maskless Ninja said is there's going to be solar storms. I'm not an expert on that, so I can't really say. But I really appreciate everybody jumping in. Make sure you like and sub to my channel. Thank you guys for watching. There are links down below. And I hope you guys who are listening as well, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Everybody enjoy. And on Monday, we'll talk more about crypto mining. It was actually kind of a breath of fresh air to not really talk about crypto mining on this stream and having it do so well. So thanks again for watching, guys. I'm going to end here. I kind of just lost gas. Head over to, if you're watching this live, head over to Red Panda stream. I'm probably going to go over there while I work on some stuff. So thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content on GPUs. Peace. Have a great weekend.